playing open guard a lot, trying to attack him here. And just sometimes during competition, the way the guy's fighting, he's really square. It's just hard to get the attack in. So you're going to switch up to closed guard. One of the things about closed guard is it's, like certain guards have different attributes. So like say if you have sit-up guard, right, or daily heave, it's more easy to sweep than to submit. The strongest thing with closed guard is it's very strong for submissions or sweeping to mount, right? And if you sweep to mount or you get a submission, then like it breaks the whole sweep battle thing, right? So the only negative to closed guard is like if you're down by like 2 points and there's like a minute left, it's a little bit of a slower position. But if you're up by an advantage or up by like 2 points, it's one of the best positions in jiu-jitsu. So this is probably my favorite attack from closed guard, as well as really hard to get out of. So as soon as I get to the position, I'm just gonna pummel the arms, and I'm gonna try to shrimp out a little bit and hook one of the arms for an overhook. Okay, once I get this overhook, there's a lot of ways I can lock this down. Okay, so once I get this overhook, there's a lot of ways I can lock it in. I can get this cross collar grip. I like the belt a lot, like this. You could even do kind of like a rubber guard type thing. But the main thing is to isolate this arm. It makes it really difficult for the guy to get it out. And then for him to get base back, he usually has to put this on the floor. So we're just gonna start with like the simple version, and then I'm gonna slowly go into a more complex motion, okay? So for now, I'm just gonna grab the belt. I like to grab a little more towards the left side. I'm gonna pinch my elbow and knee together to lock his arm in position. Okay, so once I get here like this, I like to get my left foot on the hip. I can scoot out a little bit. I'm gonna look to get this wrist. Once I get this wrist, I can lean back and push, and now I'm gonna bring my right leg out to come across for the triangle. Depending on how the guy's positioned, sometimes I just go on the inside here, and sometimes I go around the outside. You can feel it out. It depends on how his arm's positioned, what you need to do. But if you're less flexible, this one might be harder, but usually you can go here and I kind of throw it and release, and I come up here. Once I come up here, I'll have to do all my adjustments for the triangle now, but I'm not gonna go into that. It's like a different problem. We're just focused on the setup, right? So a lot of times the best time to go for this is right when you get closed guard, right? So say I'm playing collar sleeve, right over here, I'm gonna do this, I bump him forward, he falls here, and I go right here, I immediately start looking for this. Or if his arm's here, as soon as we land here, I start pummeling really quick and try to go for it, right? I don't wanna let the guy settle in and start getting good grips. So now I got the belt, I got my elbow kind of tight here, trim out to the side a little bit, and look, I start looking for this wrist. Of course, he might get his forearm really tight and defend. We're gonna deal with that in a minute. Right now, we're just focused on getting this wrist, scooting out, bring the foot here, or if I need to, sometimes go out around that way, come up here, and now we adjust for that. Couple extra details here. When I pummel here and I start to bring this forward, don't go for this overhook immediately, because if he's really far away here, he's just gonna re-pummel it in, or kind of like if I go here too early, he might re-pummel that arm, right? What I want is actually I grab behind the tricep and then shrimp out like this. It's like I'm pulling the tricep up. That makes it harder for him to pull the arm back, right? So once I catch that, so like I would pummel here, I start to go here, I catch this, and then start shrimping out and trying to pull this up, because that pulls it into my armpit, right? Now from here, I can make the decision to go more for the overhook style with the collar, or I can start going for the belt or rubber or whatever you want. But you gotta make sure you elevate that. If you try to go to the full overhook too soon, it's easier for him to pull out. Another cool way to get to this one is if the guy does the one high, one low positioning like this, you can do a cross sleeve and break, and typically people go across the body here to go for the back. But once you break here like this is a really good one too. Where I swing my arm around here, now he can't pull out of that, and you can use that to start setting up the overhook as well. Okay, either way you get to the same position, okay? So just make sure you're focusing on that tricep, scoot out of it, get the belt. Once you get the belt, you really want to be more on the left side. The further I go over here, the more probability there is that he can get that elbow out because I'm not tight. My elbow and knee are not connected, right? So I get out over here, okay? If he tries to posture up a lot, that's because he's posting his hand on the floor. If that's on the floor, it's very easy to push it out and start going for the triangle. The most common defense people will do here is they're gonna start trying to put their forearm on the floor and kind of pin your elbow to my hip, and it's really tight like this, and now it's really hard to find that. Okay, so what I like to do here is I'm gonna come up on my elbow, I can scoot out a little bit if I need, and now, keep it tight there, I'm slowly gonna work my hand in between the wrist here, okay? So I just start at the wrist like this, and I get my fingers in first, and then I start getting through there. Once I go here, now I'm gonna slowly fall back and use my forearm to push his wrist forearm out like this, okay? Once I start getting my elbow and knee connected here, there's no way back into that tight position. Okay? The only way he can do it is just swing his arm all the way over top and come back in, right? And he'll try that eventually, but usually you can try to catch it. Right? So I want to keep the tension on this. So once I go here, go again, tight. I come up, I slowly work in there, and now I start using my forearm to go out here. I get the shin on the bicep. Now I'm starting to work here. I use this shin in the bicep to work back to the wrist. Now I'm back out and go here. This is extremely hard to stop. If you're good at this attack, it's very difficult to stop. It can be a little bit slower, but the guy cannot get out of the position, okay? Mario Hayes used to use this all the time. He would submit everyone when he got close guard. All right, guys? So just work that detail, trying to pummel in, and we'll go from there.